All right, let's dive straight into this explainer and expose the hidden enemies secretly draining your bank account every single day. Because, we all hyperfixate on those massive expenses, right? The rent, the mortgage, the crazy car payments. But today we're looking at how small purchases destroy your budget. We're talking about those tiny microtransactions quietly sabotaging your financial future without you even noticing.
You definitely know the feeling. You work incredibly hard, you pay off your big bills, but by the end of the month, you're just staring at your balance wondering where on earth all that money vanished to. Honestly, it feels like a bad magic trick, doesn't it? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not magic. It is just math, and it's all happening in the invisible margins of your daily routine.
Okay, brace yourself, because this staggering number is exactly how much you are losing every single year just by buying your coffee, breakfast, and lunch out on workdays. $7,600. That's a dream vacation right there. That's a massive chunk of a down payment for a home. Just completely gone, consumed in little $5 and $10 bites. So here is exactly how we're going to unpack this today. Number 1, the massive impact of small costs. 2, the psychology of overspending. 3, the buy now, pay later trap. 4, the sneaky subscription drain. And finally, number 5, we'll wrap up with the 4F's budget counterattack. Let's jump right into Section 1, Small Costs, Massive Impact. It's time for the drumroll math.
The math here is actually brilliant because it's just so simple. Just swap in a daily $20 restaurant lunch for a $2.50 lunch packed from home rescues over $4,500 a year. Seriously. If you're going out to eat every weekday, you're dropping about $5,200 a year on lunch alone. The sheer frequency of these tiny purchases is literally what's breaking your budget.
And it's not just lunch. It's a whole army of everyday leaks quietly bleeding you dry. Picture a typical morning. You grab a $5.53 takeaway coffee. Boom, that's over $1,000 a year gone. You leave your idle appliances plugged in at home. These energy vampires add up to 10% onto your utility bills. You hit an out-of-network ATM and get dinged with fees. You blindly grab name-brand snacks at a 30 to 40% markup. And you ignore a running toilet that just slowly, relentlessly inflates your water bill. Every single time, a micro choice eventually becomes a macro bill.
All right, moving on to Section 2, the psychology of overspending. And spoiler alert for this one, it is not your fault.
Ever wonder why supermarkets put all the candy and chips right at the checkout? It's all about decision fatigue. They know your brain is completely exhausted by the time you reach that register. You've just spent 20 minutes making trade-offs, comparing unit prices, navigating crowded aisles. By the time you're checking out, your mental guard is entirely down, making you incredibly vulnerable to impulse buys.
And this isn't just a theory. There's actually wild research to back this up. Simply draining your mental reserves with a tiny task makes you significantly more likely to cave into impulsive choices. In one study, people who were asked to memorize a 7-digit number were 50% more likely to choose a slice of chocolate cake over a fruit salad compared to people who only had to memorize a 2-digit number. Basically, a tired brain makes expensive choices.
But wait, the psychological traps definitely keep coming. We've all been in this situation. You buy a brand new desk, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you absolutely need a new chair, some new shelves, and a new rug just to tie the whole room together. This is known as the Diderot effect. That one new object actually changes your self-image, triggering this intense, irrational cascade of further purchases, just so everything matches perfectly.
Which perfectly tees up Section 3, the buy now, pay later trap, better known as the numerosity illusion. Have you ever caught yourself thinking that splitting a payment somehow feels like getting a discount? Well, it's called the numerosity effect. It perfectly explains why paying 4 small installments of $25 feels way cheaper and more trivial to our brains than just paying a single lump sum of $100. Our brains get completely fixated on that smaller number, the 25, and we completely ignore the total context of the purchase. As this research model maps out so clearly, when an installment price replaces the total price, our perceived expensiveness instantly drops. We literally feel like the item is cheaper than it actually is. And this lowered perception is a massive trap. It directly tricks us into spending far more and choosing much more expensive options than we ever would if we were just using cash or a regular credit card.
Next up is Section 4, the sneaky subscription drain, or as I like to call it, paying for absolutely nothing.
Look at this breakdown. It turns out that half of all households are paying for unused subscriptions, literally just throwing away over $1,600 a year. Think about it.
People lose an average of over $1,100 annually just on gym passes they never even touch. Add in all those dormant streaming services hanging around, Netflix, Spotify, Disney+, and you've got a massive, completely silent drain sucking your resources dry.
So how do we fight back? Well, you're going to need a budget leak audit. And there are some great tools to help. If you want instant discovery and fast cancellation of these hidden fees, an app like Rocket Money is a solid choice. But if you want to get to the root of the issue, fundamentally fix your spending behavior, and turn those recurring costs into planned, intentional decisions so the creep doesn't come back, then you need a budget, often called YNAB, is hands down your best weapon.
And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, the 4F's budget. This is your counterattack.
Now that we've exposed the enemies, here's your practical, easy mode framework to get your money back under control. It's the 4F's zero-based budget. You categorize your income into fixed, fun, fudge, and future. Fixed is for your absolute essentials like rent and groceries. Fun is for restaurants and shopping. Fudge, which I absolutely love, is your buffer for miscellaneous or forgotten items, like a last-minute birthday gift. And future is for savings and debt repayment. By doing this, your income minus your expenses nets out exactly to zero, meaning every single dollar is assigned a job before you even get a chance to spend it.
But you've got to pair that budget with a few simple behavioral steps to really short-circuit emotional spending. First, implement a strict 24-hour cool-down period before checking out any online shopping cart. Second, next time you feel the urge to just buy something, stop and name the emotion. Are you just bored? Are you sad? Naming it literally takes away its power over you. And finally, tell your money exactly where to go before it magically disappears into the aisles at Target, which stops that whole Diderot effect right in its tracks.
You need to start giving your dollars a deliberate purpose today. Because honestly, the only thing worse than struggling to make money is letting it quietly slip through your fingers unnoticed. So I'll leave you with this. Are your small, daily habits controlling your life, or are you finally ready to tell your money where to go? Apply these steps, take back your budget, and stop paying for nothing.